everyone, and welcome back to another video. So we're doing another collab video. If you can't already tell, the pattern I have been on for most of my video content has been doing 1/3 scale cosplays and collabs, which I'm very set in my ways for that. I think that is where the sweet spot is for me from a creative perspective. So with September being my birthday month, I wanted to do something fun with my friends because I've been feeling pretty lonely, I'll be honest. Seems like when you get older, everybody's kind of at different stages in their lives and it's harder to connect in person. I thought a good way to bridge that gap was to do some creative work with some of my favorite people, to do Studio Ghibli, which has been a part of my life since I was a wee bitty. It's been a collab I've wanted to do for a long time, but it just didn't seem to fit properly, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be more of a casual collab. What's beautiful about Studio Ghibli and a lot of the costume elements and animation style is it has a simplistic, familiar, and just like homely feel. I thought that this might be a little bit more digestible for folks that were going to be participating at the last minute. So that being said, I chose to do Howl's Moving Castle. I had talked like 2 years ago about doing Calcifer because I love Calcifer, I absolutely adore his character, but wanted to imagine him as a woman. So we're gonna go down that rabbit hole and where my brain was for the creation of this project. Let's do a little snapshot of history regarding Studio Ghibli, when did it start, and a little bit about Howl's Moving Castle without giving too much away about the plot of the film. Studio Ghibli was established on June 15th, 1985. Hayao Miyazaki, Isao Takahata, Toshio Suzuki, and Yasuyoshi Takuma. So fun fact, the word Ghibli actually means hot desert wind. And I think that this is so appropriate, not only because the creators wanted to be this breeze of wind that comes through and just absolutely shapes and transforms the animation industry, which they have done, absolutely mastered. But it also is very appropriate because many of the Ghibli films have an element of wind and air to them, flight being a big piece of that, and that follows with having lived through World War II, which was, of course, a very impactful event for the entire world, but especially for Japan. The idea of flight also ties into Howl's Moving Castle. Now, the film, Howl's Moving Castle, is based off of a book that came out in 1986 as well by British author Diana Wynne Jones. The adaptation came in 2004. There were some creative changes and differences, notably between the book and the movie, the film. Planes and war being mentioned in the film, and then Howl being a magician, or as in referred to in the books as being a wizard, has this ability to fly. And then the castle itself has wings that it sprouts. Calcifer. I did an abstract, which means it's not going to be as recognizable, and some people might be bummed out about it. If you're familiar with the film, you know that Calcifer had two different halves to him. Calcifer starts as a falling star, and it is described that when a falling star reaches Earth, they become an Earth spirit, and they have a very short time frame. And Calcifer comes across Howl. Howl gives a part of his heart to Calcifer, and then he turns into this very spicy, funny, comical fire demon that we know and love. I wanted to show both sides of Calcifer through the use of color. So in the movie, it's depicted as blue when he's coming down as this sleepy little star, and then, of course, the colors of fire, which you think of orange and red for that. So I drew up in Procreate, and it's literally was a split down the middle, one side red and orange and one side different shades of blue. There's a wonderful local store that I got to visit and shop, and they had so many amazing pieces. This is now my go-to for all of my future purchases, and I'm sad that I wasn't going there before. They don't just have cotton. They had some other materials as well, so that's great to know for future. So I took it upon myself for this project to take 3 different sewing templates and piecing them together. Haven't done that before. The 3 different creators I bought from to make this pattern was My Little Doll Story for the overskirt. The actual pencil skirt was under orange, and then the top was Raccoon Rags. Definitely a thing, a lot to think through. Coloring down the middle, which meant I had to be very particular and take my time when it came to lining pieces up and sewing. And even though I spent so much time making sure it was right, I still got off in places. So then we got more of that checkered effect, but I went with it because we were like, whatever, we're rolling with it. Time was a factor, you know, the whole thing. And then it was how to connect the pieces in a way that made sense. At first I was going to connect just the pencil skirt to the overskirt and then have it be like a crop situation. And then I was like, no, I don't like that. I want it to be a full piece. I think it looks better that way. So I decided to attach the top and the skirt to each other to be one full piece. And then I ended up doing an invisible stitch to hold the overskirt. I also wanted to do a lot of beading, but Joe with Joe Sewz was amazing and recommended this heat press. Looks like a heat press pen. And you get these little crystals and they're just heat activated and it's amazing. I bought it. It was like 20 bucks and it's like one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. I spent so much time with it and I loved it. It was a lot less maddening than actually sewing beads. The overskirt took me the longest time to get through. And then also, I didn't realize how heavy cotton is. It's very heavy. It's a heavier piece than I wanted it to be. And that meant that it was going to pull down even with the invisible stitch that I did. I definitely had to like do one of these, you know, it's like the wedding dress moment. Any of you worn a ball gown? You know, that feeling where you're like, trying to pull it out. The thing that I actually messed up the most was the wig. I'm really sad about that because I spent way too much time on it, but it was cutting the wig because it was way too long and I just messed up so bad with the bangs. And I'm usually pretty good with trimming and cutting a wig, but I was watching TV and paying more attention to the TV than I was for that. But remembered at like the very last second that I had the Harley Quinn wig, which I did technically cut and color years ago. So, you know, like I get some credit for that. I had these cute little beads from Michaels that I was able to use for the egg decal on the front and then to glue onto the teeny tiny hair clips. And then my final 2 pieces was doing the face up, which really I sketched it pretty quickly. I just kind of did whatever I felt like doing. The face up was just going to be a reflection of that half split of that falling star versus the fire demon. I went back and used paint because some of those colors were just so vibrant and almost neon that they didn't show up as well with pencil. Getting much better about using paint. And then the shoes, which the bottoms were printed and designed by Enchantarium. And then for the photos themselves, I really didn't want to go do a bunch of nature photos because I wanted to utilize the AI feature in Photoshop to really create scenes from the movie and the book that felt appropriate. Put my photos over the top and then Ben went in and edited with Lightroom. It's not meant to be realistic by any means. It's just supposed to be stylized and very artistic. So without further ado, here is my Lady Calcifer halvesies. Ta-da! Again, this is a collab, so please go into the description below and you'll be able to see all of the different participants, their social media or their YouTube videos. Here are the individuals or duos that participated in this event: Beth Ramsden, Leisure of Dolls, Joe Sewz, Jerry Fernando, All My Plastic Children, Smart Doll Boutique, Hanafubuki Dolls, and Threads of Elysium, Karmycat, and Mikela Frost. Thank you all so much for participating in this project. Please give them some love, share. If you want to help the algorithm do good things for small creators, the best thing you can do is comment. Leave a comment on their post, share it, and like it. That's the best way to get that picked up so that it gets viewed and loved by so many other folks out there that were as influenced by Studio Ghibli as myself. So I have a really big announcement, and I can't give it quite yet, but I just wanted you to know that my channel is going to be going in a slightly different direction. I still want to do cosplays and do like collabs. That's something that's not going away, but I am diving into something that I haven't done before, and it's going to be a massive project. And my hope is that that's going to be my primary focus and the direction for Magical Girl Kit-Kat in the future. So that will be coming, I hope, within the next 30 days or so, because I'm going to need your help and your support. I love you all so very much. Take care. Have a wonderful start to your spoopy season. Peace out, my bean sprouts. Bye-bye.